with the network, So we were discussing about the recoil of the gun, and I asked you as to which is action and which is a reaction force. So the action is that the bullet is moving ahead is the action force, and the gun moving behind is the reaction force, correct? But in this case, why is that the bullet moves for a longer distance as compared to the gun? The gun only gets a small jerk, so what is the reason? The reason is that the mass of the bullet is very small, but the mass of the gun is large. It is huge, right? So that's why the small mass moves to a larger distance, and the larger mass, which is of gun, moves only to a smaller distance, right? So this is action, one is reaction. So again, this forms a very, very important question from your exam point of view, okay? Explain recoil of the gun. So you are supposed to, yes, absolutely, Isha, because the gun is heavier, correct? So why is that? Explain recoil of the gun. So you are going to explain which is an action force in this case, which is the reaction force, and also that the bullet travels to a longer distance, larger distance, whereas the gun is going to only travel a smaller distance, only gets a jerk, correct? So this is about the recoil of the gun. Now connected to this, we have conservation of momentum. So also understand that here also in the case of recoil of the gun that we were talking about, the momentum of both the gun and the bullet actually remains the same. The momentum of the both remains the same in this case. So let's first talk about the conservation of momentum, and then we will discuss as to how the momentum is conserved, okay? Now for this, we will take up a small, small situation wherein we have two objects or two bodies. The first body is M1 and the second body is M2. Okay, let us consider that both the bodies are traveling with an initial velocity of u2, and the second one is traveling with the initial velocity. Sorry, first one is traveling with initial velocity of u1, and the second is traveling with a initial velocity of u2. Okay, so they are both traveling, and then they collide, and after collision they move in different directions. So the final velocity, let's say, is v1 of the first body and v2 of the second body. Okay, so situation is clear. There are two objects, they are moving with initial velocities, then they hit each other, and then they move in different directions, and the final velocity is v1 and v2. So this is the situation. Now in this situation, let me ask you, what is the initial, because we are studying conservation of momentum, so we have to write down what is their momentums. So what is the initial momentum of the first object? This is the first initial velocity, this is the mass. So what is going to be my momentum, initial momentum? Momentum is mass into velocity. So mass of the first object is m1, velocity of the initial velocity of the object is u1. So I can write m1 into u1, correct? Then what is the final momentum of the first? Look at this first object final, what is the final velocity? v1, and mass is m1. So what is going to be the final momentum? m1 v1. Okay, now next, what is the initial momentum of the second body? Initial momentum of the second body is m2 because it is a second body, and u2. Okay, what is the final momentum of the second body? It is m2 v2. Okay, because this is where the second body is. This is the final velocity of the second body. So I can write all the four momentums like this in a line. Okay, now if you know how to write the initial and the final momentum of both the bodies, so I have written it like this. Same what you just told me, I have written it in a sequence. So let's first calculate the change in the momentum, because first we'll try and calculate the change in the momentum. What is the change in the momentum of the first body? Only consider the first body. So this is the first body. This is the initial momentum of the first body. This is the final momentum of the first body. So first write down what is the change in the momentum of the first body. The change I can write m1 v1 minus m1 u1. This is a change in the momentum, means final momentum of the first body minus initial momentum of the first body. Now let's write for the second body m2 v2 minus m2 u2. That is going to be the change in the momentum of the second body. So change is okay. What I've done is final minus initial is a change. Correct? Now, if I know the change in the momentum, can I write what? Now tell me what is the rate in change of momentum. So I've written here. Look at this. This is the change in the momentum of the first body and second body. Now can I write the rate of change of momentum? What I told you, what is rate of change of momentum? Just divide this quantity by time. So this becomes this, and this becomes m2 v2 minus m2 u2 upon time. So this becomes the rate of the change of the momentum. Is it easy? I've calculated change in the momentum, then I've done the rate of change of momentum. Now, look at the second equation of motion now. It's written here down. In the bottom it's written. What is the second law of motion? Second law of motion says that rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied unbalanced force. Is proportional to the applied unbalanced force. So this is the rate of change of momentum I have calculated. Okay. It is equal to the applied unbalanced force. Means this is equal to some applied unbalanced force. This is also equal to some applied unbalanced force. Okay. So let me write this as F12. Let me write this as F21. Okay. F12, F21. Because I told you in the third law of motion, what does the third law of motion tells us? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Means suppose if these one object is, this is M1, this is M2, if they are trying to hit each other, this object is also applying some force on the second object. The first object is also, having some force on the, applying some force on the first object. So both the forces will be equal, but they will be opposite to each other. So can I write F12 is equal to minus F21. See, both the forces I've calculated, they will be equal. So I've put an equal sign, and they will be opposite to each other. So I've put a minus sign here showing that both the forces are equal, but they are in opposite direction to each other. Okay. So I can equate all the quantities like this. F12 is equal to minus F21. Fine. So I'm going to just substitute these values here. So now look at this. I've written the same thing here. F12, F21. Okay. Now I'm going to substitute them like this. Okay. So look, I've written both the equations like this with a minus sign. Now when I open this up, look at this. The first is M1 V1 because I'm opening the brackets. Okay. M1 V1 minus M1 U1. So M1 U1 is equal to M2 V2 plus, because minus into minus becomes plus, M2 U2. Okay. Now I'll try and bring both the final velocities term together and both the terms which include initial velocity together. So what I've done is M1 V1 remains here, plus this term comes this side. M2 V2 comes on the left side. Similarly, M1 U1 from here will come this side. So all the minus sign I'm taking on the other side and making them plus. So I will get M1 U1 plus M2 U2. Okay. So now look at the first. What is M1 V1? M1 V1 is final momentum of the first body. What is M2 V2? M2 V2 is final momentum of the second body, because 2 means second body, 1 means first body. Similarly, m1u1 is initial momentum of the first body, m2u2 is initial momentum of the second body. Okay, now what is the entire left hand side tells me? What is the entire left hand side? The final momentum after collision together. What is the right hand side? Before collision. It is the initial momentum before collision together, right? So what did I learn? What did this last equation tells me? Final momentum is equal to initial momentum. So when two bodies are actually colliding with each other, final momentum is always equal to the initial momentum. Okay, so the same applies to the bullet and the gun also, right? The momentums, how will you make the momentum equal? Now understand that suppose there is a small body of mass very small m and there's a large body of mass m2. So how will you make the momentum equal? Means momentum involves velocity also. So the small object is going to go with the large velocity and the large object is going to go with a very small velocity. So look at this. Mass is small but the velocity is large in the first case. Okay. Here mass is large but the velocity is very small. So one is more, the other term is small. In the second case, the first term is large but the second, so one is increasing, the other is reducing. So this is how we are going to make our momentum equal. Okay. To give you an example in terms of numerical value, suppose there's an object which is 5 kgs, okay, in mass, but let's say its velocity is 25 kilometers per hour. So this is a velocity. Then there's another object which is having mass as 25 kgs, okay, but the velocity is only 5 kilometers per hour. So this is m2, this is v2. So look at this. If you multiply 5 into 25 and again this, the momentum is going to be same only, correct? So that's how we make the momentum equal. We reduce mass, we increase the velocity. We reduce the velocity, we increase mass. So we have to play with velocity and mass in order to make the momentum equal, correct? So in this case, what we learn is that whenever there are two objects which actually if they are colliding, then the total momentum of both the objects initially before the collision will be equal to total momentum after the collision, correct? So I hope this is pretty clear to you. If in case you have any doubts, you can put it up in the chat box. We have finished